Every so often, I like to buy cheap games that I think will be relaxing and fun to try out. The thought being that if they're good, it'll be a pleasant discovery, and if they're bad, at least it didn't cost me much. Since I prefer physical games, I'll define cheap as costing less than $20. Today's cheap game is Bunny Park for the Nintendo Switch. Was it worth it? Let's find out. If you're familiar with the mobile cat collecting game Neko Atsume, Bunny Park is basically that, but with, well, bunnies. In Neko Atsume, you add food and other items to your park to attract cats. In Bunny Park, you do the same thing, but with bunnies in a park. Either way, you're an animal hoarder. It's just a matter of which animal you like more. Bunny Park doesn't have much in the way of options. You can choose your language, of which there are many to choose from, and whether or not you want HD Rumble. Upon starting the game, you're greeted by a tutorial dump in which you're told that a storm scared all the bunnies away, so you'll have to clean up and add decorations to the park to get them to return. You're then given instructions on how to maneuver about the interface and are given tips on how to keep the bunnies happy and your park looking nice so you can attract more. Honestly, I felt the tutorial was handled quite poorly. There could have been a way to add all of these tips organically through the gameplay so you're not scrolling through screens right at the start. They also don't mention some key points. For example, you're told to keep the bunnies well fed so they dig up coins, but they don't tell you what the coins are for. They're for buying items in the shop. You're told not to wake the bunnies up from their sleep because they don't like it, but nothing happens when you do. You're told how to raise the coziness and cuteness levels of the park, but you're not told why you should do these things. The tutorial also fails to mention that you don't automatically earn the coins the bunnies dig up. You have to hover the cursor over them to collect them, or else they'll disappear and you lose out. The controls are horrendous and utterly frustrating. You use the left stick to control the camera and the right to control the cursor. There's no good reason for this, and it's the main reason why I didn't get far playing this game. The camera and cursor seem to move at different speeds, and the cursor, the main thing you need to control the game, moves pretty slowly. They should have linked the camera movement to the cursor like a good chunk of games do. It's like controlling each of your eyes independently. It feels odd. Instead of having the player fight with the controls, a much better solution would have been to make use of the Nintendo Switch's touchscreen, which would have made for a substantially better and faster experience. Collecting coins is a slow process, and you'll need them to improve the park and attract more bunnies. You start the game with only 500 coins, and you'll most likely spend it all trying to buy snacks for the first bunnies that arrive in the park. Now you get the joy of waiting for the bunnies to dig up more coins, or waiting for more weeds and logs to grow so you can remove them for more money. You'll also get spammed with messages about how the bunnies want a snack, but you won't be able to do much about it because you have no money. It feels like a mobile game, and that's not the type of experience I want to have when playing a game on console. Nothing is labeled when you hover over it. You can earn coins by removing items from the park, but since nothing is labeled, you don't always know what you're removing and whether or not it's useful. For example, there are green bushes that could be large patches of lettuce, which the bunnies need, but they could also be large weeds, so who knows. Lastly, the bunnies themselves are quite dull. There are a total of 25 bunnies to collect. There's a screen where you can read a short personality profile of each one, but it's not like it matters because the bunnies don't do anything. They mainly hop around and sleep. Maybe they have more animations when interacting with some of the more expensive items, but I found the controls to be so frustrating and off-putting that I didn't have the desire to continue playing. Frankly, the controls are enough of a reason to avoid buying this game for Nintendo Switch at any price, especially when there are games with more robust gameplay and less aggravating controls, like Let's Build a Zoo. I won't dump down on Bunny Park completely though. It's only $5 on Steam, and I'm sure it'll work better with a mouse and keyboard than with whatever it was they tried to do with the Switch. As for me, I'm putting Bunny Park in the never again pile. If you've played Bunny Park on the Switch, I'm curious to know your thoughts. That's all from me. I'll see you next time.